Yo, guys, welcome back. Thank you for tuning into this live stream at FX for Love. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking, and don't forget to share. Yeah, so we're back. We're live for New York session. Um, Today we're going to be trading some smaller account here, a smaller account. Yeah, so today we're going to learn mostly tight risk management. How do you handle small money? So I'm going to start by first clearing the charts. We don't need this kind of dart in the charts. I knew gold was going to sell, and I'm grateful for the fact that it sold as I expected from about that resistance. Yeah, the way I expected it to sell. So probably now, since gold is in an uptrend, when you look here and you see very well, gold is in an uptrend. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for probably price to sweep liquidity. I'm looking for price to sweep liquidity as it taps into that zone. So let me first clear. I want my charts really clean. Yeah, so I'm looking for gold to tap liquidity, to sweep liquidity as it touches. Because if you look here very well on our 4 hour, there's a demand zone about there. Oh, since there's a demand zone about there, when I head over to my M15, you can see we are looking at liquidity sweeping happening as price taps into this demand zone here. Yeah, so where is liquidity? I told you there's always liquidity below a low and above a high. There's always liquidity, so let me mark. So that's the level of liquidity, that green line. So I'm expecting price to sweep liquidity as it taps into that zone for gold. So I think let's be waiting to see what happens exactly. Meanwhile, as we wait for price to do that, let's go to USDJPY. So because when it comes to gold, when you're trading small money, you have to take the sharpest, or the, should I say what? Like it has to be a super accurate sniper entry and a very super tight risk. That's when you're trading gold. So you don't want this kind of fake outs, offs and ons. You don't want them when you're trading gold. You don't need that. So we are on USDJPY H4. We had been looking at a sell earlier that played on, but just that we did not execute it from where we should have. So when you look, USDJPY failed about here. If you look very well, it failed about here and started pushing up because there's a demand zone here. So the fact that there's a demand zone here, let me mark. There's that demand zone around there. So, and if I'm to draw, you're going to see that there's a kind of an uptrend here. Let me draw and you see. Yeah, there's kind of an uptrend there. Because if you look very well, every high is getting higher. If you look here, we had a higher low, a higher high, higher than this previous high, this smaller, a higher low again here, a higher high, again we have a higher low. So definitely I think USDJPY is going to give us another higher high. But how do we enter? Let's head over to M15 and see that when price came and tapped into our demand zone here, did it sweep liquidity? Yes, it swept liquidity below this low right here. So let me mark liquidity sweep. Yes, that's where the liquidity sweep happened. And after liquidity is swept, what do we expect? We expect price to come back and respect supply. So did price respect supply? Yes, price came and respected supply right there. If you look, then what else do we want to see? We want to see that there is a downtrend, that as price was approaching that forward demand zone, there was a downtrend. So where is that downtrend here? You can see that there's this downtrend here. Let me mark it for you to have a good look. There was this downtrend. So I'm gonna take it a bit up here for you to have a, then this is it. So there was that downtrend. So what happened? Price came and rejected. I've not drawn it like super clearly or super, you know, 2 points are enough. So you can see that price came very well, and what did price do? Price came to and got rejected at that supply zone. So let me head over to my M15 and you see what I'm talking of. So this is USDJPY we're talking of. So you can see that gold came, USDJPY came here, started creating lower lows, lower highs, lower low here, right here, lower high here, lower low, and finally what is it creating here? A lower high. But remember, if price is in a market where it's a downtrend market, it's supposed to create lower lows and lower highs. So when price comes here to this supply, I expect price from here to move down here and create a new lower low and break even below this low. But what happens? Price fails. And what do I mean price fails? Price creates a higher low, because this low price has created is higher than this previous low. So price creates here a higher low. Now if price creates a higher low and fails to create a lower low and decides to push up and break above the supply zone that create that failed reaction, which is the higher low, then this zone becomes a flip zone. So I'm going to use a green rectangle to mark it today. Okay, maybe purple. This zone here. Let's use another color because I don't like confusion. Yeah, so I'm using purple. So you can see that price went all the way up here to this supply zone, got rejected, and instead of creating a lower low, what happened? It failed and created what here? Created a higher low. Now after price creating a higher low, let's see what happened. Did price manage to break above this high? Because if price breaks above this high, we know that price has now officially confirmed this as a flip zone. And when price breaks above that high, that's when we expect price to come back and retouch the flip zone, mitigate it, then we can take an entry. But if price has not yet broken above this level here, then it's still a no. So let's move and see. Look at this. Look at this. Just take a look at this. So I'm dragging for you to see what price is doing. So I'm dragging our flip zone. You can see that price had not what? You can see what happened exactly. Price. I like what we are seeing here. So you can see. Come on. I want you to see this. Yesterday I did not stream yesterday in the evening. I did not stream today morning. There was a bit of issue. I'm trying to make sure I'm consistent and I'm as stable as possible, so that every day when you tune in, when you check me from 10 to 1 p.m. I'm live. When you check me from 3 to 6 p.m. I'm live. Monday to Sunday, yeah, because on weekend there are Bitcoin trades also. It's not like Monday to Friday. No, we are catering for those who love crypto. We are also catering for those who love Forex, and soon we shall also be catering for those who love futures. Yeah. So forgive me for not being live today morning and yesterday. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I'm consistent. So I was working on some issues, internet and all that. So as I told you that USDJPY came down in a downtrend, rejected at this supply zone, expected it to go low and create a low lower than this low, but what happened? It failed around this zone, creating a higher low, and price comes and pushes back to this same supply zone, and price fails to break above it the first time, comes back down, picks again momentum from this demand. Demand is powerful, buyers step in. What happens? Price pushes and finally manages to break above and close, but it's not a very strong valid break. Why? Because after that happening, price reverses, so this becomes more of a fake out, not a valid continuation for buyers. But what happens is price steps in and comes back to the whole of this flip zone. Now if you look closer, you're going to see that we're having lots of higher lows, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So this is a very powerful sign that, you know what, price literally wants to buy. But in according to this strategy, we are supposed to execute the trade when price breaks above this zone, like the way it did here, and after breaking, price comes back right to this zone and we execute. So it's not a must that the break has to be very, very large one. Sometimes price can break, like this break was large, because if I zoom in and you see it very well, there was some good momentum. Yeah, there was good momentum in this break, but price chose to reverse after and come back to the zone, but it created still a higher low, showing that this uptrend is valid, because we are seeing here lows get higher and higher. We are seeing here highs get higher, because when I look at this high here and I look at this is a higher high. So this high also right here is slightly higher than this high. So I'm seeing higher highs, I'm seeing higher lows. That's already a uptrend sign. But where am I looking to enter from? I'd be looking to enter from a flip zone. So the whole of this zone you see here right here is a flip zone. So the only thing left for us to make this trade valid is to wait and see that is price gonna head all the way down to this flip zone, and we shall scale into the M5 time frame for a sniper entry, since it's a smaller, or is price going to choose to finally break above again this zone? Now if price breaks above this zone, what are we looking for? We are looking for a break and retest and a close above the retest. That's what we are looking for. So if price breaks above this zone, we want price to come back and retest the zone, and then we want price to close above this point here where it broke above, because when price just breaks above the zone, it's going to create a certain high. Now that high it creates and then comes and retests. Now once you see price after retesting come and close above that high, and that's where we take our entry with a stop loss below the retest. But if that has not yet happened, then we don't have a trade. So that's why even if I go to the M15 on USD JPY, if you take a good look, we don't yet have a trade. Because when I look at on the H4, USD JPY just tapped a demand zone. But still, when it tapped this demand zone, it headed over to the supply zone. So let me put on do not disturb. Okay, we're already there. So when price broke above, when price came and tapped in this demand zone, she has moved right back up here. Right back up here is a supply zone. This is a supply zone on the H4 still. So we can also get sales if we see price create a flip zone on the M15. So how do we confirm? We need to see what price is doing. So price comes, creates a higher high here, creates another higher high. And what happens? It has swept liquidity above this, because this is a double top. If you look well, this is a double top, kind of a double top. So above anything that looks like an equal top or equal bottom, or a double top or a double bottom, highs which are at the same level, there's always liquidity above them. So price has to take it out. And as you can see, price moved and took it out. Now when price takes it out, what are we looking for? We're looking for price to create what we call a lower high, because price is in an uptrend and it has hit a supply zone. So in a supply zone, if the supply zone is strong enough to turn the trend around, we are looking for a downtrend creation, and a downtrend consists of lower lows and lower highs. So the moment we start to see a lower low and a lower high, that's a sign. It's like a signal that price is turning bearish. But remember, it's not a confirmation. We only confirm when price has swept liquidity and tapped back or mitigated a flip zone. That's when we confirm. So when you look here on USD JPY here, let me zoom in, you can see that we have a very powerful support level right here. It's a decent one, because every time I see price come back to it, this zone here, I'm gonna mark it with some other funny color. I'm gonna mark it with pink to avoid confusion. So whenever price comes to that demand zone, what does price do? It reverses back up. You can check. So price there has been kind of trending on the M15. I mean ranging. Price has been in kind of a range. So the only way that I'm going to see that price is valid is waiting for price to create something like a flip zone. But leave alone this support. There is another support I want to share with you that you might not be seeing. There's this support. There is this support. Yeah, if you've tuned in, if you are watching, thank you. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, ask questions, don't forget to share and subscribe. Yeah. So there's also this demand zone here, the one that's not so deep. So you can see when price comes back here, price rejects, pushes back up, creating a mini failed high here and drops. And when it drops, what does it do? It retests and drops again. And what happens after? Price does what? Price breaks above and goes back above this level. And right here where price is, there is something unique I want to show you. That is only if you have the right eyes to spot, to see that when price actually came down here, I don't know, I want to show it in a way you can see it clearly. Yeah, so you see when price came back down to this demand zone here, which is a powerful demand zone, this demand zone, price created what we call a W pattern or a double bottom here, right? Just here, first tap, push back, create a neckline, come back, second tap, sweep liquidity, but also literally almost equal lows. So what happens? Price created something like a W pattern right here. Now with this W pattern or double bottom pattern, price usually plays out in this double bottom, push up, retest, and when price retests and closes above, you can take an entry with a stop loss right below this low. So the bad thing is not trading view. I have those path tools, yes, but I'm gonna push to trading view. I'm not yet organized like minus, but I'm going to go to my trading view. It's only I'm doing this on MetaTrader because most people want live actual trading. That trading whereby things are done lively, exactly on the charts. Yeah. So if you view here, there is a hidden double bottom as I've showed you. Usually, I don't like MetaTrader's tools for marking charts because they are quite limited. I will not lie to you. They are quite limited. I don't know what I can use to show this. I don't know, but if you look well, if you see, let me take a very deep zoom. If you look well, I've zoomed in deeper. You can see there's this double bottom here, almost equal lows. Price pushes first time here, comes back up, retests. So when you look here, right here, how do they trade double bottoms? They trade double bottoms in form of to make you see it clearly. Actually, I remember this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to simply switch the chart to a line chart. Yeah, I'm going to switch it to a line chart and you see what I'm talking of. Yeah, so if you look very well, you can see there's this double bottom here. Price comes, pushes up, pushes. They are not fully equal, but when you saw the candlesticks, it was reaching slightly lower here. So you can see there was this downtrend and a double bottom. So when you're trading double bottoms, what happens? Wait for price to break above this neckline like this, the way it has broken. Then wait for price to retest the neckline, and it's retesting it here. And then when price closes officially above this level, this higher, we enter for a buy trade, placing our stop loss right below that low. And you see this. If we enter for that trade, let me change this to 0.01. So if we enter for a buy trade, buy stop, we enter for a buy trade right there, and we place our SL below that low here, we are risking only 2,500 Ugandan shillings. That's what we are risking because this account is 37k. Today I brought a smaller account because people usually can't afford big money to trade and they're always complaining. Money is the problem, capital is the problem, but I wanted to show them that, you know what, small accounts can be traded, they can be grown. It's very possible, but the big issues usually people don't have the right amount of discipline. People don't have the right degree of risk management, and apart from that, people don't have the right system, the right edge, the right strategy. They don't, because there is no way you're going to tell me you're going to trade only $10 or 37,000 with a strategy you're not sure of, with a very big stop loss. It's not going to work. You're going to blow an account now. So you can see that even if I chose to risk 5,000 UGX of this account of 37k, and I chose to use, let me say, 0.01, let me say, and I'm taking a buy around there, a buy, and I'm placing my SL below this. I'm placing my SL somewhere there, and I want to risk like 5k. Let me reduce this to about 0.05, something like that. That's still big, because this is M15, remember. So 0 point, this is disturbing me a bit, 0.0, let me 0.03, yeah, something like that, 0.02 or 0.03. Yeah, 0.02 would be the ideal. You'll find that I'm able to step into such a trade. Let me change back my charts to candlesticks. So you'll see that I'm able to step in this same very trade right here and take an entry about here, buy, place my SL below this low, and I'm risking only 6k. And like, man, if you're trading with proper risk management, how the hell do you blow your account? I don't care how small your account is. How do you blow your account if you're trading proper risk management? Blowing is not supposed to happen. If you're trading proper risk management, you're supposed to, worst case scenario, you're supposed to lose the account over a good number of trades. Let me say, since you're risking 5k per trade on 37k, this is your 37k, you're trying to risk 5k per trade. 5k per trade, I think that's about 7 to, let's say, about 10 trades. So if you take 10 disciplined proper trades risking 5k, 10 calculated trades risking 5k, and let me say at the end of the day, you end up losing all of them. You have not blown your account. You've learned a lot, you've got a lot of lessons. That is far much better than you risking your whole account and having hope. No, price will go up, it will turn, I believe. You start praying and all that stuff. Like, God guys. I'm still having a bit of lunch. Huh? So, guys, I went a bit off. I'm grabbing some lunch, but let's continue. So that's what I was talking about. USD JPY. USD JPY, that if price closed above that level, if price closed above this level, we could think of maybe taking a trade. But since price pushed up, then no. So I showed you also the double bottom here. I was trying to show you. Then price retests here, and you could have taken an entry actually right here with the stop loss right below this low, and wait for price to push. Yeah. US30 is a very good pair when you have small money, most especially on Xness. Now the beauty of US30 is this. There's this beauty I want to share with you about US30. US30 has very low spreads on Xness. You can see the spread is about 19. So even if I took a trade right here on M15, let me show you the beauty of it. If I take a buy trade on US30 right there and place my SL right there, I'm losing only 1k. Can you imagine? Even if I take it here on M15, that's a very large gap. I'm losing only 4k. Meanwhile, also it's going to be the same thing for making money. Like, you're gonna have to have a very big target to make some decent money. But US30 is a good pair. I'd advise for trading standard $10 on Xness, because you lose very little. Apart from losing very little, you have less tension. Yeah, there's less tension. So this was our flip zone on US30. Price has not yet come back to it, so you see we are not executing. So as I told you, in trading Forex, you don't rush, you just relax, you set alerts, let price come to you. You only execute when price satisfies your rules. If price is not satisfying you, then don't execute anything. As simple as that. Yeah, on GBP USD, I don't know what's there. Let's check if we can get some trade for the afternoon. So you can look at how beautiful GBP USD is. This is a very beautiful uptrend. Look at that, higher highs, higher lows. And what has happened? Price is right here at a demand zone. Very beautiful. Let's take a look at this. Price has just tapped this demand zone right there. So my demand zones are usually red. Yeah, so since price has tapped my demand zone, I'll head over to the M15 and I wait for price to sweep liquidity as it taps into the demand zone. But I can say that, yeah, literally. So, but I still feel price can sweep liquidity below this low here. Yeah, so this trade will happen, but in quite some good time. So not yet, no trade probably on GBP USD. Euro USD, wow, beautiful. Let's see what happened. Let's see, look at this. Demand zone, price reacted to the demand zone. Price came and tapped into our, what do we call it? Price came and tapped into our flip zone. That's the beauty. Price came and tapped into our flip zone. price came and tapped into our flip zone, and when price tapped into our flip zone, it also swept liquidity below this low. And not leaving that, it still went ahead not to reverse but sweep liquidity below this low. So we're waiting to see what exactly does price want to do. So that's why I like using the M5 for confirmation. The M5 is very powerful. It helps you avoid lots of fake outs. Yeah, so until we see the M5 has swept liquidity, pushed back up here. So we are now looking for a failed reaction and a break above that high on the M5 to confirm. Then we'll need price to simply come back and tap into the flip zone, and then we can take the entry to the flip zone. Yeah, so no trade yet. So let's take a look at ZAO USD. On ZAO USD, which is gold, liquidity has been swept as I was expecting. Price has tapped into the demand zone. So we're looking for price to create a flip zone. That's what we are looking for. So that would be when the trade is valid. But at times, let me say, when you are scalping and you want to get like far match sniper entries, because if you look at or you want a bit of a quick scalp trade, so when you look at price here as having lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, price has just swept liquidity below this low, came, got rejected a bit, pushed and pushed up. So you can think of saying that, okay, you want a quick scalp, do you think the 1 minute fair value gap will hold? The 1 minute flip zone 0.01. Okay, so if I take a buy there, you see this is M1, but you just check an M1. Even if you decide to execute a trade on M1 and you're placing your stop loss, how much is that? That's already 30k going, guy. This is your whole entire account, 37k. So that's why I told you, when you're trading gold with a smaller account, you must be like super sure, super sniper entry. Otherwise, it's literally like luck. It's literally like gambling. You get it? You must know what you're doing. So someone can say, you know what, where price is, I expect gold to buy right here, and it's going to execute right here where gold is, and it's going to place a stop loss right below this low. And how much is it risky? It's risky like 7k. So those are the super sniper trades, but you must know what you're doing. So this is almost like futures trading. It's almost like trading futures. So I'm taking a buy on gold, where I'm taking a buy on gold. Stop loss very super tight below that low. This is how we trade futures. Yes, last year I was introduced to the futures by a person. Futures are so volatile. Yeah, so the moment you start to push, the moment you start to get in profit, you start to lock in. That's how they trade futures. So you see, we are in a 3k profit. You start to, because gold is volatile. There's no way you're going to tell me you're going to enter for such a trade on gold and place your stop loss like down here. Unless you want to lose your whole account. Like, bro, gold is so weird. We all know that. So I'm going to move my stop loss into profit below this low of this candle, and I lock in. Even if price reverses instantly, I lose nothing. So that is how they trade futures. And this is how you do tight risk management on a smaller account. Tight. So it's tight. It is super intact. Don't see a guy growing a smaller account. It's like, it can't happen. It happens. It depends on how serious you are, and depends on how sharp you are, how tight you are with risk management. So 5k making 5k, making 4k on such a trade, I might get stopped out. I'm just trying to also show you. So making 5k, making 4k on such a trade, it's a lot of money. Because let's do the math. I like to make things easy for all of us, things that we can see. Let's do the math. So you're making 5,000 Ugandan shillings, divide by 37,000 equals to 1 point times 100. Let me clear that. Times 100% equals to, wait, I think I got it a bit wrong. It seems math is just flying out of our brains, man. Yeah, so you're making 5,000. Okay, divide by, I made a mistake, I think, divide by 37,000. Okay, times 100. You see, you're making 13.51%. So by the time you can enter a trade in literally 5 to 10 minutes and you're able to make 13.51%, by the time you're making 10k, guy, you're making too much money. You're making already too much. If you enter a trade and you're making 10,000 out of 37,000 Ugandan shillings, I want you guys to be realistic. That's why I'm doing this. Times 100. You make already 27% of your capital. So which business has a rate of return of 27% or 13.52% in literally something like 2 to 3 minutes? Like, bro, what business in the world has such a rate of return? Just ask yourself. You say, I love being realistic. So sometimes when you lose your account, sometimes when you say, guy, I was in a profit of 10k, I was in a profit of 15k, I did not close, I lost it all, I blew my account. I want to show you that you should start getting realistic. When you see it and it is good, you see it in a percentage form, you will learn to take your profits, not to hesitate. You will not hesitate about your profits. So I want you that whenever you execute a trade and you're running, I want you to risk in form of percentages. I want you to learn to take money in form of percentages. Don't be rigid, because you're going to find a guy trading 37k account like this one I'm trading. Yeah, I'm just teaching you with. So you're going to find a guy trading 37k. You see the trade is still on. We are running 8k in profit. So you're going to find a guy. This is already a lot of money. Because, bro, let's do the math. 10k, let's do the math. 10k, as we have done with you, is over 27%. So you're going to find such a sniper trade on the 1 minute. So I'm going to lock in profits by taking my stop loss below that low there. So even if price pushed and took me out, like, guy, I've secured, I have locked in 6k. Now this is the kind of trading I want you guys to adopt. That's what I tell you, that focus on becoming a risk manager before you think of being consistently profitable. So there's no way you're telling me you're going to become consistently profitable if you're not consistent in taking your profits when they show up, because you're so greedy saying, I want to hold, I want price to skyrocket. No, be realistic. We're running about 16k. So we're literally running almost half. We're literally running almost half the entire account that we have. So I'm looking in about 11 racks there. 11k. So my question is, you don't have to be so greedy. I'm trading only one order. 0.01. If you learn and understand where to catch entries, and then you know how to lock in your profits. Because when I now look here, there's a possibility of price reversing. So I say, no, 17 is good. 17 is good. 17 is good. So 17 is good. So since I know that I'm making a sum of money, but the sum of money I'm making is literally around 10%. So the moment you go to trade and you make around 5% and above in profits, my friend, I would say lock around 3%. Whether price reverses on you, you have 3%. You have something you have taken. You're not going to be like, yo, I'm more greedy, I want the market to ride. No, sometimes I don't want to lie. The trends can ride, but what makes you consistent is your ability to lock in consistently, to lock in the money coming, because you never know what the markets are planning to do. You'd never know. So this trade I took is not a trade based on my system. I took a trade based on market momentum, which I use a lot in futures trading. Because in trading futures, we do what they call trailing. We have trailing stop losses. You trail them. You might find that you've taken a trade with in futures, because there we trade contracts. You might find a contract is maybe let me say about it might be maybe about 0. Let me say about I think around 0.5 there. Yeah, so you might find a contract is something like that. So I might have jumped in the trade. Let me go to the 1 minute and show you where I took this trade. And I show you what happens literally in futures. So I took this trade on the 1 minute here, if you remember, if you are with me. I took this trade right here on the 1 minute, about there. So in futures, you're going to enter such a trade and your stop loss is going to be super tight. Now in futures, I'll say we even trade 15 seconds. They are 15-second candles. So you can imagine how volatile that is. Because the moment a candle pushes in profit, you're going to find yourself making $300, $200, $100, $400. So by the time you place your stop loss behind 1 minute candle, you guy, if you're to lose, you're going to lose something good. I don't want to lie to you. So you might find that we've entered a trade whereby here we are risking 494k, which is around 100 and something dollars on my 50k whatever funded futures account, and there the drawdown I have is $2,000. So I'll not be looking at risking more than 100 or $150, worst case $200. So I'm going to enter for such a trade with one contract, and then when I enter for such a trade with one contract, I'm just going to target a small gap. Like price is going to move, I'm going to lock in. Price is going to move, I'm going to lock in. Let me say I've taken the trade here. My target is maybe around there. But the moment price moves into profit, I'll start to lock in. I start to lock in. I start to lock in. I start to lock in. You might find that, you might find that I've locked in about here. Let me zoom in for you guys to see. Yeah, you might find I've locked in about there, which is plus 400k. So right now, even if I was in that trade and price reversed on me, I've already locked in $100. So I want your trading to be focused on losing less. You first try to focus your trading on how much am I losing if I'm wrong? How much am I losing? Don't care about how much you're making so much. Okay, it's important. I don't mean dump it, but if you care more about how much you lose, then you start to lose less, and then you start to take accurate trades, accurate setups. You learn to be patient and wait for what is strong and what is powerful, what works. You don't chase the markets. But if you're focusing on making money, anything that you see that it is moving, it is riding, it is leaving you, you feel like, guy, I'm going to miss out. I could be rich. That's where a disaster strikes, because you're going to go full margin, you're going to risk it all, yet you're not okay losing it. You're going to do all that. But when you're not okay losing it, you get it. So it's very important for you to manage risk. Because I don't see you trading your 37k, $10 on a standard, and you tell me that, guy, I was in a profit of 10k. Then my account reversed and got blown. Like, I don't lie to you. It can happen, yes, because $10 is small. That's the truth. I don't want to lie. But if your risk management is on point, if you learn what we call trailing, if you trail your trades, that can never happen. And I want you to know one thing. If your trade takes you out when you're trailing, don't feel bad. Be happy with it, because you took something out of the market. That's the joy. You took something out of the market. You might have not gotten the most, but you took something out of the market. And apart from taking something out of the market, you were safe. Your money was safe. Your capital was safe. That's what is very, very important. So don't let making money excite you. What should excite you or should make you happy is the fact that you cannot lose a certain amount of money in the Forex markets. You should be happy with yourself, because very, very many people cannot control how much they lose in the markets. And they'll say, no, trading is bad. You can lose everything. Yes, you can lose everything. But the fact that you lose everything or you don't lose everything in the market is based on a lot of factors. There can be technical factors. There can be all those other factors. But I would say the biggest factor is you and your system and your plan. Because if you have an edge, or if you have a system that works, if you have a system that works or an edge that works, why would you be losing a lot of money? Why would you be losing a lot of money? Just ask yourself that question. Because building an edge, building a system, it's not easy. I always tell people it takes time. An edge is a refined strategy. It's a well-tested, it's back-tested, it's forward-tested, and a well-refined strategy. What I mean back-tested, you go back to the past, you test that system works by doing what we call back testing, but you can use software as well. We call rewinding. It's like you rewind the charts and you test if your system would have worked over and over and over until you clock about 100 trades. I will tell you this: back test a strategy for 100 trades minimum. That's what I'll tell you. The minimum is 100 trades. Don't test it for less. Within 20 samples, you'll start to see if that system is working or it's trash. Around 20 sample trades will tell you the truth. Then, as you go on testing, you're going to start to see there are things you can tighten, there are things you can adjust, the others you can throw away, the others you can add. So as you keep on doing that, you keep on producing, perfecting, working on that strategy to turn it into something that works. So that's the reason why most people lose money in trading. They come to trading, they see support resistance, they see this, they mix, they study more. When they are losing money, they think the solution is to learn more and more strategies. But the thing is this, learning strategy is not the problem in trading, but you might find a strategy doesn't work for you because of your psychology, because of the way you react. Maybe you're this greedy guy, maybe you're this guy who is very impatient, maybe you're this person who for you want you're patient, you want those long trades, but again the strategy you're using is for people who do scalping. Maybe again you're that guy who wants to scalp, but the strategy you're using does not favor. So you have to start to understand the strategy you're using. Does it favor your personality? Does it fit your psychology? Because there's no way you're gonna tell me that any strategy can work for anyone. There's no way. Because me, I know lots of things in the markets. I know lots of strategies, SMC, ICT, price action, indicators, all that, blah, blah, blah. But why is it I've come to a point where I have what solidly works? I don't trade anything that I feel like trading. No, I trade what I know works. And most especially when you're trading small money, whenever you're trading small money, you're not going to play with, never ever think of maybe like, guy, whatever you're doing, if you're using small money, it must be superb, it must be assured. Yes, if it fails, let it fail. But when you used what works most of the time, but you're not going to start testing a new strategy on small money, you're going to lose that money. Get a demo account or a center account, go and retest your strategy. Test it over and over. After gathering data, take it to a decent center account, test it. And then when it's ready, now you can go trading decent money, good amounts of money. But never rush to get a strategy here that it is working and rush trading. No, even in my strategy, I teach you guys, I give you guys every single day. I keep on telling you the same strategy over and over, and it's very simple. It's super simple and repeatable. There's nothing that you'll get as a strategy that works for you if it's complicated. It won't work. Trust me. I don't want to lie to you. Any professional trader you see trading, guys who are trading full time, guys who are trading futures, guys who are trading crypto, guys who are making decent money out of trading. There's one secret I want to tell you about their strategy. Their strategies are simple. Because I don't lie to you. Trading is hard. Yes, trading is hard. But trading is also simple. So it's not easy because it's hard, but it's simple if you do make it simple. And that's when I learned a lot when I came up with this strategy. I learned that I was complicating a lot. I knew a lot. I was trying to make sure. It's like, what should I say? It's like trying to be everything in the world. You'll find out that you are a mess. You can't be everything in the world. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Trading wants you to be the simplest, consistently repeatable version of yourself. That's what trading wants. And I mean, what I mean by that is your strategy. Your strategy should be very simple, repeatable, and consistent. The moment you can master that, it doesn't take you long to become profitable. I don't want to lie to you. It doesn't take you long. Because the thing that fails people becoming consistently profitable in trading, first of all, they don't have a proven edge. Proven edge, I mean, they don't have a strategy that works, that has a high probability rate of success. When I mean a high probability rate of success, I don't mean your strategy has to be 60, 70, 80%. It depends on what you're trading. Because there are people who trade who have strategies of 50% winning rate and they are profitable because their risk to reward ratios are 1 to 3, 1 is to 2. So it's not about the strategy's win rate alone. It is about the risk to reward ratio of the strategy and its win rate. Like this strategy I give you, or this strategy I've been sharing you of mine, I no longer call it a strategy. It's an edge. Because to me, it's no longer a strategy. It's an edge. It has a very superb high win rate. If you want me to share with you the data I've collected for it, you can simply DM me anytime on my socials because I have back tested, I have collected data on my Excel sheets, I have journaled. So I want you when you're coming up with your strategy, journal. Don't be there trading something. You say I traded, it worked. I tried it worked. I made that money. This. No, that is not the strategy working if you're not journaling it. Because supposing I come as an investor to you and I say you claim your strategy works and all that. So I wanna see your track record before I invest money. What are you gonna show him? Just ask yourself that question. Because I'm like, there are many people who claim, like, yeah, I've been trading for 2 years, I've been trading for 3 years, I've been trading for 4 years. But where is your journal? Because me, you might ask me that I've been trading for 4 years, I've been trading for, but I have data, I have books. I can give you exercise books, I can give you Excel sheets of things I've been testing over and over. I have. So I have data. But if you don't have data to back up your system, to prove that your system works, no one is going to believe your system works. And by the way, it's not a must that people have to believe it works. It is you who it needs to work for. Because me, I'm just sharing. I could choose to sell, yes. I could choose to monetize it. But I'm like, guy, what's the point? Because there's one thing I know in trading I cannot sell to you. I don't want to lie to you. No mentor, no professional, no rich guy in trading can sell to you this thing. That thing is called psychology, emotional control, emotional maturity, emotional intelligence. Nobody can sell to you that. That's the package which has no price. So I can teach you a strategy. I can give you so many different systems that work for different market cases, and you'll test them and find they work. But your ability to be patient and wait exactly for it to appear and execute, your ability to be patient and not rush and say, ah, no, I know after this it will do this, let me enter early. Let me, yeah, that thing that causes you to second guess, to doubt, to be greedy, your emotions. It is only you who has control of your emotions. And that's what I always say, that I can teach you how to trade, but I cannot make you profitable. But I can try to teach you my level base, and I can show you techniques and hacks to improve your psychology, how you breathe in during trades, how to remain emotionally aware so that you don't get emotionally hijacked during trades. I can teach you something like that. But at the end of the day, who makes you consistently profitable as a trader? It is you. I can never do that. It is you. Because you're the one who chooses to say, you know what, right now I feel tense. I feel so pissed. I'm so angered. I'm not going to trade. Right now I feel so happy. I'm not going to trade. Right now I feel like I'm cool, I'm calm, I'm collected. I'm reading things bit by bit. Yeah, this is a good moment to trade. It's only you who can do that. Me, I can't do that because I'm not in your brain and I don't control your emotions. And this is where trading gets harder than people think it is, because every day people are like, I don't have the right strategy, I don't have this. So the thing is, I'm giving you a strategy right here that works. You can test it over and over. I want you to go and test it over and over, and you're going to find it works on literally every pair. Because by the time I came up with this, by the time I investigated, I did flip zones, I combined SMC, I added liquidity sweeps, I did demand zones, I added their trend lines. By the time I did all this, and finally 2025 was there whereby I did not get any fortune trading, I don't want to lie, or super big money, made some decent money in the year. But there's one thing I came out with. I came out with a very solid, well defined edge and strategy that I'm sharing with you every single day in this live stream of mine. But when I came up with that, another thing I also learned is I learned a lot of psychology in 2025. That's why I always tell you, in trading, not all the achievements or not all the profits are tangible. Sometimes the profits are mental in Forex. I know, I know we want tangible profits, eh? 10k USD, 1 million USD. I know one that had life. I don't want to lie. There's no one who comes to trading Forex wants some small money, wants to be broke. We all want good money. That's something yes, that I don't want to lie of. And that's the truth. If you come to trading, I know you're looking for a good life. I know you're looking for that good money. But what brings that at the end of the day is when you create a system that works, which is your edge, your well tested strategy. When you create a system that works, you go to the risk management and see, does my system obey risk management? Is the risk management valid with my system? Because if you come up with a system and your system works, but risk management is not validated, it's not valid in your system, that's also a problem because it's not going to sustain. Because you know, can't tell me that this strategy works, but my stop loss, I don't know where to put it, or my stop loss has to be very big. No, you have to get a system, and you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works. And you have to get a system that works and make sure that your stop losses is at structure. Always make sure, may I advise people to place stop losses below structure or above structure. When I mean structure, I mean higher highs, higher lows, market highs, demand zone, supply zone. Those are where your stop losses should be placed. But always make sure before you ever think of entering a trade and placing a stop loss when you enter a trade, first think of liquidity. Because if markets have not swept liquidity, there's one thing I'll guarantee you. I have been understanding and adjusting to markets, because every year markets are not the same. Markets are different. Markets keep on changing. So if you don't adjust to liquidity sweeping, you're going to find you're stopped out a lot, and then price moves in your direction. That's the most painful thing. You're very correct in your analysis, but you miss out liquidity. So that is very important for you. So if you get a proven edge, if you come up with a proven edge, a proven strategy that you've tested works, the only way I told you to test is to back test by going back into the past. Forward test. Forward testing is you continue testing with the new markets showing up every day. Then after testing, journal. Did I win this trade? Yes. Where was my stop loss here? How much did I lose this? How much would I make this? Did I make it? Yes. How much? What was the risk to reward? 1:2, 1:3, 1:2, 1. Keep on testing, because when you test and you start journaling in a book every day or putting in your Excel sheets on your computer or phone, you're going to reach a point where you look at your records, you sit down every Saturday and review. You're going to start to see that, by the way, this thing works on this time frame and this time frame. Here it doesn't work. On this pair it works. On this pair it's very perfect. On this one it needs you to wait for this and this. That is when you get to a point where now you start to understand what works and what doesn't work. But if you don't backtest and forward test, you will never know actually what works or what doesn't work. Why I advise backtesting is because it saves you a lot of time. You can easily go back to the past and test even 50 trades in one day. But for testing, you have to wait for the market space. So do them both, but do a lot of back testing. By the time you test 100 trades and you see that, you know what, in 100 trades, I would have won 80, I would have lost 20. Bro, that is a very superb strategy. That's like a 80% win rate strategy. If you if you test in 100 trades and see I could have won 50, lost 50, that's a beautiful strategy still. The only thing is look at the risk to reward. Maybe that strategy is having very large risk to rewards. 1:5, 1:6, 1:3. Because me, this strategy of mine, I will not lie to you, the minimum for this strategy is usually a 1:3. But most of the times when you get it on a right day, you get it the way I've explained to you, it's a 1:5 and above. There are trades I've even caught sometime over 1:7, 1:10. Just that I wasn't risking a lot with those trades, yeah. So that is very, very, very important. I was talking about risk management, and today even I'll be dropping a short about risk management, yeah. I'll be dropping some great Forex shorts today and a great Forex video, yeah. So risk management is very, very important, most especially if you're trading small money. You have to learn how to balance your risk, yeah, to manage your risk. It's very key, yeah. So if you don't if you don't manage your risk rightly, it's gonna cost you. So as I was showing you, when you're trading smaller accounts, you need to do trailing of stop losses in volatile pairs. Lock in. I don't care if you locked in 2K, guy. Don't tell me. No one should tell you that 2K is small money. Just do the math here. Do the math. I always like showing people the math. Don't look at your account in terms of UGX or USD. No. Look at your account in terms of percentages. I said just do the math. 2,000 Ugandan shillings divided by 37,000 equals to this times 100. That is 5.4%, guy. You're making 2K from 37K and you're like, bro, that is small money. That's no money. But guy, that is 5%. Let me tell you the truth and reality. If banks are giving us 8% to 12% per annum interest for keeping our money in the banks, maybe in a fixed deposit, and you are there making 5% in literally just 5 minutes or 3 minutes too. It doesn't actually take even 5 minutes. It takes you seconds. Like guys, just imagine you're trading gold. You've just entered that trade. You're going to make 2K in literally like some seconds. That like 15 So guy, if you're making 5% in that time frame, in that time range, and you're so greedy, and you don't want to lock in that 2k, guy, enter that trade, lock in that 2k. If you see prices moving, if price continues to push, continue to push along. If price reverses and takes you out, no need to panic, no need to feel you've missed out. Wait for another good momentum ride if you're trying to scalp, and take advantage of it, because this helps you to lock in. Even if you get in a trade, you're not scared of, no, price will reverse, I need my stop loss, yet you're ready. Because I've seen this scenario happen. A guy is in a 1 hour trade or a 2 hour trade. He's in a 1 to 2 reward trade, risk reward trade. Let me say he was risking, let me go back to the charts and explain this. And I want to go back to the M1. I want to go back to the M1 where we were, where we took this trade. So we took this trade about here. Yeah, and I like the fact that price is coming back to that point. So we took the trade about there, buy stop. We placed our SL originally around here. If you are watching with me, it was like we're looking at around 8k. That is worst case scenario if price was to drop and take us out instantly. 8k gone, but we have not blown our account. Yeah, it's quite some money, but well and good. We understand the fact that trading gold is a volatile pair, but we have not blown our account. We still have something like 5 chances to try. Or you could lock it. Since I saw the bullish momentum was good, we would even lock it at about like 6 to 5k there. So what I was trying to say, imagine getting into a trade and you're targeting maybe somewhere high further there, and guess what, price moves and your stop loss is here. You lock it at about 5k, and price chose to reverse. Like, you see the way price here reversed. Price reversed there and comes and takes you out. You get out of this trade with 5k. Even if, let me say, even if you were here, you locked in price here at 3k, and price reversed instantly, you would get out with still 3k. But there's nothing more annoying than you saying, I expect price to go up. Price comes and gives you here, right here. Price comes and gives you what? 19k. Guess what? But you did not lock in at break even or lock in profits. And guess what? Right now, price comes and smashes your stop loss like here, where we are. And you've lost 10k, 8k. But guess what? Before you lost the 10k or 8k, you are what? You are in a profit of what? You reached up to 19k. First, that madness, eh? I'm sorry for saying that, but it is a bit of craziness, because why should you get into a profit that is equal to your original risk or above your original risk, and you do not lock in at break even, or you do not lock in some gains? It doesn't make sense. That's why I always say, if your stop loss is here at 10k and you get to a profit here, I'm dragging it, you get to a profit there of around what? Here. Of around 10k also. 11k. Lock in. Place the stop loss there in profit of 11k without fear or favor. Don't care if the market just taps you and takes you out. No. It's not about making money. It's about not losing money. Let trading first become about not losing money before it becomes about making money. Then the money will start to follow you. Because if you're avoiding losing money and you're always looking small gains, guys, the day will end when you're green. The day will always end when your PNL is up. But if your focus is on making home runs, I don't know if you ask, what, if you want to make a home run, like, guy, home runs are where some of us get killed. That's where some people suffer. That's where some of them the problem is. Learn to lock in. If you have a decent sum of money and you're really super sure about the trade, then lock in at break even. Come and move stop loss to break even. So that in case your idea fails, you still lose nothing. Yes, you still lose nothing. So let trading be. So that's why I say first focus on becoming a risk manager before you think of becoming a profitable trader. Because once you can manage risk, trust me, you're going to see the money is going to start to flow. It starts to come. But not managing risk anyhow. You manage risk when you have a system. That's why I said backtest and create a proven edge. If that guy who totally doesn't want to backtest, then look for someone who has come up with a system or a strategy that they claim works so much. Go and try to review it over and over. See, test it for yourself. But if you want your own strategy, I don't want to lie, it takes time. It can take you like 4 years. As I told you, it took me literally 4 years to come up with such a system. So if you're willing to put in years or work to the system, put in the work. But if you've seen what works and it surely works, then I would say adopt it if you want to save time. Because this world is not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Yes, and that's why I share. It's not like I was like, no, let me be selfish, keep this all to me and all that. No, if I've realized something works and it works and you can learn it and cope with it, I'll share it with you. Because there's nothing to hide. Whether I give it to you for free or whether you pay money for it, there's one thing I told you I cannot sell to you. I cannot sell to your emotions and your psychology. That is it. But I can show you ways to improve it and you can see how to improve it. But the thing is, I don't want to see people come into trading and say trading is a scam, trading doesn't work, I lost all my money. I want them to get knowledge from people who have been in the industry, who are, some of us, we are not like very big gurus or super traders or we have made huge fortunes from trading forex, but we have experience that we have been learning over. We have learned a lot of lessons. We have failed, we have fallen down like I don't know how many times. We have blown lots of accounts. So the fact that you've been blowing lots of accounts, you've learned lessons, you've made some good money, every year there is a mental change, there is growth, there is an achievement that is a skill to trading. You want to shorten the journey for other people. So some mentors are going to charge you man, but me at the level where I am or where I am, I'm not really interested in selling content to people. There are just some good courses that I'll say I have here, which I could give you access to, which are great because I would say they cost me maybe a huge sum of money. But there are some that actually people connect me to and they say if you have a person to get into them. But the reason why I say that is you have to shorten your journey. Don't do the same thing. Me, I may say I did this, and I don't want you to do that. So that's why I emphasize. You see, you hear me over saying, I want you to I want you to come up with a what? I want you to make sure you have a proven edge or strategy before you trade real money. If you cannot create one, adopt one and test it before you use it on your real money. Then have good risk management, perfect your risk management. After your risk management, work on your discipline and psychology. Have a trading plan you follow, a routine. When you get up every day, what do you do? How do you start your day? Do you pray? Do you meditate? You go to church, you breathe in and breathe out. Like you need to develop a pattern. Because any trader you see who is consistently profitable, they are consistent in their life also. So consistency doesn't come from just trading the charts over and over. Consistency starts right away from your own personal life. So if you're this guy who is not consistent, you just do things the way you want, you're so super random. I would actually say your life is like a gamble. Then you should find a way to make your life consistent. Yeah. So if your life is like a gamble, guy, I don't know what to say, but you should try to make your life consistent. Yeah, so that's very important. I always stress those. I'm going to continue creating shorts. I'm also the full video of explaining my strategy. I'm gonna drop it soon. Very simple videos. Remember one thing with me, I keep trading as simple as possible. Yeah, I keep trading as simple as possible. Don't forget to comment, to question me, send questions. Yeah, send questions because there's a live stream I think I'll do maybe tomorrow or on the weekend where I think we'll need first boost a bit of people to come in. I want people to ask questions, to ask me how they can grow their money, what exactly they need to do. And I don't care. We are in 2026, we are in Jan. Today's just Jan 8th. I don't care if you have $1,000, you have $10, you have $5. All I tell you is you can turn that money into 100 times by the end of the year if you're serious. As I've showed you, you can be locking in every day 5%. Yeah, just do the math. Let's do the math. I like doing the math. Yeah. Although man, calculus is another thing. Yeah. So let's just imagine every single day you're locking 5% trading forex. Okay. Let's say 5 days a week you trade Monday to Friday. You're locking 5%. Now, if you're locking 5% every single day for 5 days a week, that is what? That is 25%. Yeah. That is literally 25%. You're looking 25% per week. Now, 25% per week. How many weeks do we have in a year? We have 52 weeks. So 25 times 52 weeks, how much is that? That is 1,300%. Can you imagine? 1,300%. So, which bank in this world do you put your money in and it gives you 1,300% per annum? If it was there, then we would all be putting our money in the banks. We'd even sell our properties and just put the money straight away in the bank without thinking. So, if let's say that 5% of your account you're making every day is 2,000 Ugandan shillings. 2,000 Ugandan shillings times 5 days a week, that's 10,000. 10,000 times what? Times 52 weeks. That's 100,000. That's 520,000. So, let's do the math here. You started trading with what? You started trading $10, 37,000. Only 37,000. And you managed to go 37,000 to 520,000. That's 52. 520,000 by the end of the year. Is that bad? Without stress, with taking a trade which takes you like 13 seconds, 15 seconds. Because I showed you that trade. It's like the trade I just took where I made like 16, is it 17K? That trade took us how many seconds? It took us like 15 seconds, 30 seconds. We were already above 2K. We were like 3K, 4K already at that time. So if you can lock in 5%, which is 2K of 37,000 Ugandan shillings per day, per 5 days a week, per week, per day for 5 days a week, which is 20, which will become what? Which become 10,000 per week. 52 weeks a year, I would have made 520. So someone will say, but 37,000 and I make only 520,000. Man, that is small money in a whole year. So my question will come and say this. That is over 1,300% return. Which bank gives that return? The problem is you're greedy. The problem is most of you want quick money. The problem is some of you don't appreciate money. That's why you don't get the money you want. Because money needs appreciation. You need to respect it from as little as it is. Because if you don't respect small, you cannot respect big. That's the thing I want to tell you. And if you cannot respect big, trust me, you're going to find trading always a problem. Because I'm telling you this, if you cannot manage small money in trading Forex, you cannot manage big. I know someone will say, no, I have large room to breathe, I can take many losses. No. Even the guys who you see trading big money and they say they have a certain level of consistency and they have an edge that works. That when they take to some small accounts, they can manage with. And you see these traders these days trying to trade only 1K account. The guy has over 1 million. I think V$ recent is doing a challenge of 1,000, 20,000. Why is he doing that? To show you that small money, if you put the right discipline and management on it, you can turn it into big money. And that's the same thing I'm trying to show you here. That yes, let's imagine you don't have 7K. Let's imagine you're some guy who has you've saved up, you have like what? 200,000. So let's do the math. What is 5% of 200,000 Ugandan shillings? 10,000. Every single day. Very easy for you to make 10,000 with that system I'm showing you on what? On 200K. Most times, there's a week I traded 250K to 1.1 million in 4 days. It was very aggressive. I don't want to lie, it's aggressive. In a day I'm making 85, the next day I'm making 230, another day 240, the last day 300 and something. Very aggressive, super sharp sniper trades. Sniper trades, but more aggressive. So I'm not advising you adopt what I do sometimes, because I also don't do it all the time. I do it when I'm on those points in time where my edge is superb, it's playing out, it's strong, I have a lot of confluence. But if I was able to do that in 4 days, that shows you it's possible. That yes, some of it is exaggerated, but there is a level of possibility if you're disciplined. It's possible, it's not a scam. So let's say you're making 10,000 UGX from your 200K a day, because you can easily make 10,000 trading. I don't want to lie. Like trading gold, even if you just pick a small momentum trend and you ride it, that's like 2 candles. Gold, if you just ride 1 to 2 candles, you're already in a profit of 10K. 1 minute candles, by the way, not even 5-minute candles, you're in a profit of 10K. And if you say every day I make 10K, I call it a day. So if you're making 10,000 a day times 5 days a week, you're making 50K. 50K per week. 50K per week times 52 weeks in a year. That's 2.6 million. So you grew 200,000 Ugandan shillings from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. You have 2.6 million. 2.6 million divided by around $3,600 as we have is around $722. Yes, but people be saying, no, I don't have capital. When will I ever get that money? This money is impossible. No, it's something you can do. You just have to seek advice, open your head where you can open and take the knowledge. And be disciplined, be patient, be consistent. Let every day be a day where you have a goal. Don't have an unrealistic goal. Have an achievable goal. Achievable goal a day. 5K, 10K, 2K, 30K, depending on your capital. That's very achievable money in a day. You can easily make 10K on the Forex markets every day. It's very possible. Even if you're not trading an exact system, if you're disciplined and you know what to do, if you're disciplined and cautious, you can make 10K every day. I don't want to lie to you. It's not so crazy hard. You just saw me trail a trade on a momentum, based on momentum, right? Trail a trade and get out with 16K. That is even more than 10K. So the moment, let me imagine I've made 16K, I've made 10K, and I choose to call it a day. Do I have a chance of losing that money in that same day? No, I walk away, I avoid greed emotions. I move on to the next day. I look for another trade. Trade, I what? I target to make the same. When I make the same, I call it a day. I'm on like that over and over. Yeah, that's what you do, man. Yeah, and I was expecting gold to even push, so that's what you do. So on our M1, on our 1 minute time frame, I want to show you something. Yeah, maybe a possibility of a second trade. So liquidity swept below this low. Liquidity swept, but also there's this low here, down here. Let me mark it. Let me mark it here. Liquidity also swept below that low, this one here. Yeah. So as liquidity was swept, price starts to push up and meets a bit of rejection here, but manages to break above and push. Now, as I told you, below every low and above every high, there's liquidity. Below this low right here, there's liquidity. Price had to sweep it. Below this low, there's liquidity. But why did price reverse? Let's take a look at this. I want to show you. This is a fair value gap. There's a fair value gap here. Now, a fair value gap is when you look at this candle here, this green candle where my cursor is, the big gap, this big green candle here, and this lower wick of the third candle. So count with me this candle, candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. So when you look at below this low wick and above this first candle's wick, there is a space. This is called a fair value gap. And most times price, it means that price is not efficient, it is inefficient, and price will always try to come back to fill it to become efficient. It's not a must, but they are based on certain criteria. So you can see that here price came back to fill the fair value gap, and what happened? It pushed back up instantly after filling the fair value gap. You can look at that. And even right away when I was explaining to you, I was looking at that being a point of interest. But I don't need to panic if I didn't take that trade. That's what I always tell people in Forex. Markets will move. Opportunities every single minute, day, hour, always in the markets. There will always be opportunities. So you don't panic. Don't say, no, I'm missing out now, let me rush to buy. No, you're rushing to buy. You'll find if you rush to enter here, there's a resistance here. There's a supply. So how the hell do you buy at a supply? Always buy where there's demand, where you see buyers. So don't be taken up by pressure of fear of missing out, FOMO. Don't let FOMO consume you. Never let that happen. So by the way, the fact that you just saw price reverse here, let me even mark it purple. Price is just creating for us officially a flip zone where our real even the first trade we took was a momentum ride, because I know that when price sweeps liquidity like below this low you see here, this low here, and taps into a demand zone, we are going to have a momentum shift and ride. That's why I took the buy I took here. But my original strategy is literally waiting here. I'm waiting for price to break above this zone, which it is doing. I'm seeing its struggle is trying to do. Now when price breaks above this supply zone, I'll wait for price to come back to this liquidity here. Sorry, to this flip zone. Liquidity is getting into me. So again, I want to show you something here. There is also a fair value gaps. Count this green candle, candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. When you look at this candle 1 green, it's upper wick here, this upper wick of it. And look at this candle which has no lower wick. There is a big space between them, between candle 1's upper wick and candle 3's lower wick. That's a fair value gap. So most likely price is going to come to fill this fair value gap. Or it can choose to go low and sweep liquidity again below this low and push up. So actually there is no yet valid trade. on gold. If it's based on my validity of the trade, not yet, because this is still a downtrend. Let me mark it for you. This is still a downtrend. This is still a downtrend. And that's why I always tell you guys, learn to keep your analysis short and simple. Me, I don't over congest my charts. I don't over mess them up. No. Just make trading simple as hell. Make your trading like 3 to 5 steps. If you can make your trading 3 to 5 steps, like guy, what are you going to find hard there? Every day you're doing the same thing. It becomes part of you. You go to the H4, you search for a trend. After confirming the trend, you look for a zone that supports. You look for supply zones. Then when you see a supply zone, you wait for price to go and tap into it. Now if you want to know where price is going to go and tap into the supply zone, you go to the M15. This you wait for price to sweep liquidity. Either here as it enters into. So as you what? A lot of trend line not to this supply. What am I expecting? I'm expecting price to also create a lower low, a low lower than this low here, than this last low tapping into the demand zone. But it fails here. Look here very well. Let me zoom in and you see. It comes here back. It creates a lower high. I'm expecting it to go low and create a lower low, but it fails here. And this is the point whereby supply right here has flipped to demand. So this is a supply demand flip zone. Supply flips to demand. So how do I confirm this? I'll have to wait for price to come and break above this zone or above this supply zone and return back to this purple rectangle, which is our flip zone. And this is where I'm supposed to execute the buy entry, placing my stop loss below the demand zone. Although that stop loss is slightly huge, when you have small money, it's a very huge one. What I do is I head over to the M5 to take to what? To narrow the stop loss. That's what happens. So let's go to M5 and wait. Let's go to M5 and wait. So you can see very well, price has created our flip zone. That's the purple zone. Price has kind of managed to break, I would say, above this supply zone here. So if price is still having this supply zone and this supply zone and this supply zone Thank you guys for watching, for subscribing. Yeah, Pro PK, thank you for the comments. Yeah, we're not far from the trade. We're not far from the trade. We're not far from the trade. Yeah, let's wait and see. We're not far from this trade. I don't know. We can have other pairs, but guy, I don't know. Me and my love for gold, it's so excessive. Yeah, we're waiting for our next trade of the session to execute. So let's wait and see if that candle manages to close above those highs. The highs above, which it's above, if it manages to close. Managers will be looking at buys, but if it fails to close above these highs here where it is, then no, you can't take it a buy. It means it's still coming. Okay, okay, let's wait for this one here. If it really wants to buy, it will close above. If not, then it's gonna go back down. I don't know, but it's important for you to make reading price action very simple, most especially if you want to avoid fake outs and catch good momentum rides. Like the fact you see this candle here at 6, it's gonna fail definitely. 432. You see, so it has failed. It has given us a beautiful doji, which means a reversal. I'm definitely looking at a reversal because they are just wicked out. So, anyways, price has not yet come to where I expect it to come for me to take an entry. I was expecting price to come all the way and tap into this fair value gap. But I think this is just a bit of a retest, then price will drop. Only to confirm, we shall know if we see price on the 1 minute close above for this week here. Because this is the high or close below this low. So Just continue waiting. If you know you have your live account, you have like $10 or what, keep your account steady, keep your account ready. I'll tell you when to buy, where to place the stop loss, and we get into this beautiful trade if it's to play out. Because I know it will be a beautiful one. Meanwhile, whether it hits stop loss or take profit, remember one thing, it's still a beautiful trade. So let's keep on waiting. Price is still dancing. Of course, I expected price to go head to head over down there and fill our flip zone. Then we take a buy, yeah. Well, I'm looking at a buy, I think around somewhere down there, and then take a sell. Let's wait. I still know we're still gonna have it. I sell to that zone. Although I see a reversal. But anyways, that's how price catches people. Most especially when it starts dancing like that and they get impatient, they get emotionally overwhelmed. Yeah. So these are the points whereby Forex is a waiting game. It needs that patience. Eh? Yeah. The fact that you see price already creating something like this, double bottom, kind of in the middle of nowhere, just know liquidity is below. Just know price is gonna have to sweep liquidity. It's not a must it will do it now, it can do it later on. It can choose to go up now. But me I always look at that being a point that price is what? Price has liquidity there to sweep. So let's wait and see. The only way maybe I can think of buying is if we get a close above this week and it's a solid close, then yes. But another problem why I'll not be able to buy is the fact that this is resistant supply. I always tell people supply zone, whether you see price is going to push through it or maybe price might be strong, you cannot tell. Not until price is above the zone and retests the zone, then yes, you can think of But if price has not yet done that, like, man, you're literally gambling. That's what you don't want to be doing. Yeah. Ooh, anyways, guys, don't forget to share. I thank the two viewers for viewing me, the likes I got. I appreciate. Share with friends, share with people interested. This is the best trading community coming up. FX for love. If you want personal money management, if you want me to show you how to grow your account safely without losing, without blowing me, you can also DM me in my socials. Uh, I'll be live. London session, I'll be live there tomorrow. I'll be also live for New York session. I'll always be live from 10 to 1, from 3 to 6. I'll always be live. Yeah, so don't forget to share. Don't forget to tune in. Yeah. And before, don't forget to turn on your notifications because my live streams are always scheduled. So if your notifications are on, you get notified. Yeah. So we're having a push. So that farewell gap wasn't filled at all. So the way I see it, like price is planning to do what? To break above that zone. So not ready yet for me. This is why it's a waiting game. It's patience. Yeah, still expecting gold to drop back down and head over to that demand zone. Yeah, so I'm still expecting gold to do that, to head over to that FVG, because there's a 5 minute fair value gap there. Yes, and there's also my flip zone there, which is also still my flip zone on M15. So I'm looking for gold to come to that point. Yes, and then we can look for buys. Nice, gold has done that. M1, I still expected drops. There's a way I don't think that candle has to create a wick. Candle has to create a wick. As I told you, it cannot just. Yeah, so I'm looking at around somewhere down here. Yes, yes. Okay. Yo, I was in a bit of a rush, guys. So yeah, I had to place that stop loss. Yeah, I was in a bit of a rush. Yeah. So, anyways, that's the place where I was expecting. So my stop loss was placed below the flip zone at 25k. Quite a large stop loss. Yes, for that account size. But since it's a bit of an aggressive trade, quite decent because I'm still losing about 4k. Price can come up to that zone, but price can just reverse like the way you've seen it reverse. So it's about knowing your system. It's about understanding and knowing your system. So you see, price has reversed at that point, but I don't know. It can choose to go red. But worst case scenario is me losing 25k on this account. Let me see around there. 22. Let me narrow it. Of course, right now I cannot scale in. I don't want to lie. You cannot scale in when the profits are not sensible. You start to lock, to scale and lock when the money starts to make sense. So 2K, there we go. That's where we go. 3K. So if you're there, buy. If you're on my live stream right now watching, please buy gold. Buy gold. Very superb entry point for gold. Buy gold. Very good entry for gold. Based on, these are trade based on my system. Very good entry for gold. Still 1 hour to end of live stream. 1 hour to end of live stream. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to yeah, don't forget to ask questions. Yeah, ask questions. Feel free, man. No one is forcing you to. Do not ask questions. Feel free. Initially, with my strategy, my stop loss is supposed to be actually way low here, but that wouldn't make sense. That's like my entire account. I'm just showing you how to trade small accounts. Yeah. So this trade here, price is almost tapping into my flip zone, but I executed it earlier because this is a fair value gap. But to me, yeah, this is my system, and I don't like. There's no need to panic. Just let price do its thing. This is an example of how I want to show you that you have to have a system you've backtested, you trust, you believe your system, you know it works. Because if it works, it works. So now there's nothing to do other than sit back, let price do its thing, and then when it gives us a decent push with a candle, then we start to lock in. But you cannot start to lock in profits when price has not yet given you even a push. That makes sense. It does not make sense. So you need price to give you a push for you to start to lock in. Yeah, you need price to give you a push. So that's 0.0. So price giving us 3K, 4K. Not bad. That is decent money on a 50K account. 1% of 50,000 is 500. That's too small. 2%, it is 1,000. So 4% is 2,000. So you can imagine 5,000 is 10%. So when I was running 5K, I was running about 10% already. That's very huge for that account. It's decent. So you cannot yet lock because we don't see candles that favor locking of prices. That's why I'm not looking at locking anything. No, not yet. And anyway, sometimes you're gonna have to give gold room to breathe, because yeah, I don't want to lie to you, like gold is volatile. Sometimes it can push even, and it's possible it can push and hit our stop loss, but at least we don't get blown. It gives us another chance to trade back the markets. Yeah, so even when you see such a trade on gold, you can imagine you're using only 0.01. But sometimes it's crazy that from such a trade you can end up making just over 50,000 with 0.01. But that's why I said locking is important. The habit of you trying to be like super greedy, it's not like the great thing to do. It's important for you to protect as price starts to move. So we're running 3K, 2K, fluctuating back down, we come back up, we go back down, we come back up, 6K, 8K, 10. So by the time price gives us a certain move, we shall now feel confident. We shall know what market is doing, if it's locking in for us a move. So 10K, yeah, we up 10 bands. So I keep on showing you how to trade. Patience is very key. Patience is very important. That word patience, like, man, it is magical when it comes to Forex. So when we get a good close, a good push above that zone, I'll be looking to push my stop loss right here to scale to lock in at about 9K there. So I'm locking in at 9K because of the push. I see it's massive. Yes, I see it's a massive push. 11K already running. It's a massive push. So yeah, it could reverse, but worst case scenario, you see I'm losing 9K. So you have to first give room to price to breathe and let price tell you what it wants to do. That is always very important, to let price tell you what. what price wants to do. Okay, 14k, 15k. So I'm risking 19. So I know my stop loss has to be increased. Now the reason why I've done that is I've seen that price is pushing a bit lower in this scenario. Price plans to tap up to exactly inside my what? My whatever, how do you call it? My flip zone. Guy, today I've spoken a lot of the word flip zone that I reached a point whereby you wonder, like you feel. So I'm gonna do position number 2 just because of how strong I believe the area is. That's why I've done position number 2. Trade number 2 is for a very quick scalp. It's not for a delayed, it's not a very delayed trade. As long as I get the candle into green. So that's it, that's it. Let's keep on watching. Nice. So that's just showing you how I trust my analysis, guys. Sometimes I don't know what else to tell you guys. Just trust and believe in your system. So guys are not there to view this trade, but that's my system working. Yeah, so that's how we trade smaller accounts with quite a bit of confidence, and yeah, that's why the trade run. Eh? Don't be on panic like that, guys. Like, what if I blow this account? Like, man, like guy, bro, eh, like my heart is pumping. What? Like, guy, how does your heart start pumping? Like, man, are you going to die or what? You have to take your time to execute. Eh? So I'm running like almost 20 bands. I ran literally 20 bands. So I'm going to take away like if I run 20, I'm going to take away like 10k profits on a trade. Yeah, so I'm still having that fight there because that's a very powerful zone. I know why market is fighting. There's my flip zone in the area. There's a trend line in the area. There's a lot in that area. Yeah. So don't think price is fighting for nothing. Price is fighting for our rights. If I was to say, I would say price wants independence. Yeah. So that's it. This is what the trading is like, guy. Like, you're not gonna be on panic. Figures are gonna fluctuate. Losses are gonna go. You're going to get into profits. You're going to get into losses. But when you know what you're doing and when you're working on your risk management and all that stuff, there's no need to fear. There's no need to fear. Yeah, so price managed to tap into my flip zone 23.24. I don't know. Let me check. You guys turn it down like 3 times. But there is more there now. For me, when I turn it like 4 times or 5, when I turn my 4 times, then it works. Like a restaurant. When a slap started from inside up to outside now. Yeah, that's why I say trust your system. You see price hit our flip zone, price is pushing up. You have to trust your system in Forex. There is nothing better than your system. So I'm locking in 4K there. So we are locked in 23K less than. So this trade is break even. So Bryce has taken us out. I'll take two buys there. Because I know price is gonna reverse. It's still within my zone. So that's why I've still executed the same trade. Took us out at the 4,000. So I'm showing you guys how to handle small accounts. This is how you do it. You don't need to panic. You don't need to. You just have to trust your system. So I know definitely if price pushes. So now what am I looking for? I'm looking for the move I'm looking for on price is not a very big move. I don't know why my whatever is getting a bit stuck. Yo, we back on the live stream, man. We back on the live stream, man. We back on the live stream, niggas. We back. Don't forget to subscribe. I thought they were only like one. Yo, guys, on my live stream, man. This is how we grow small accounts, eh? Say no risk, no Ferrari. No risk, no Japanese car. No risk, no Bajaj. Just know my system is bad, guys. When I tell you this system is bad, it is bad. Kama mimi nasema hivi system ni mambo hot. Don't play, man. It is tough. Let's lock in. So I'm locking here. We went to 30K. I would like to lock in about something like 15K worst case scenario. So even if we ride a trend when we are safe. Yeah. So I'm going to lock on this last low here. So that's official 16K lock. This is how we trade smaller accounts. I know, guys, you're not no longer on the stream. You're not on the stream, guys. We're still live. Come and check our smaller account is running. Once again, my strategy is executed beautifully, cleanly. Just looking. Just look at that. Just all gone, closed. Very nice trade, very beautiful trade, guys. Nice scalp. So I'm going to take a re-entry here. Hold on, I see this a bit. Okay. I'm going to end up for a re-entry. Yo, I just pause my stream again. Sometimes stream iko na shida, man. Be like, no risk, no Japanese car. No risk, no Bajaj. No risk, no Techno. Yeah, but not foolish risk. Remember, for it to be risky, it doesn't have to be what? Foolish risk. It has to be proper risk. I'm buying again. I'm buying like 2 more positions. Sometimes we get a bit aggressive. Very normal. Most especially when you know what you're doing. Sometimes you're gonna get a bit aggressive. Trust me. You're gonna get a bit aggressive, man. But being aggressive is very good when you know what exactly you're doing. Yeah. So you're just gambling like, man. You're gambling, there's no need to become aggressive, trust me. How can you be aggressive when you gamble? Yeah, how can you be aggressive when you gamble, man?